Afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is well. Welcome to FFTV with me, Francis Green. And yes, we are back after another decent performance, but more than anything, another win. Momentum is key, people. But first of all, as always, I hope each and every one of you are well. I hope you're having a good week. I hope the family are well. And if any of you are going through anything or have not had or the greatest of news, just remember that it is temporary, not permanent, and you will be okay. Okay, people, you will be okay. So bless each and every one of you. Hendon Gooners in the building. Afternoon, Fran, and all watching. King, as always, is saying big up, Fran. Everyone in the panel, don't forget to hit the like. Make sure you hit that like, people. Josh Bumber, yes, Fran, Leeds yesterday was a good result. It was a good result. Big up, Fran. Daz is saying everyone locked in. Love the countdown. Yeah, we'll switch it up when we need to switch it up, but we're all right at the moment. Craig, afternoon, Fran. Big up the community. Arsenal got the job done, and I think that's the main thing that's come out of that. Good and Vettel's put, hey, Fran, you're a legend of a man. Hey, appreciate that. Not a legend. Listening as I wash the car. Nice. Evening, everyone. Buenos dias, Fran from Buenos. Guna and Josh Hunter's also in the building. Big up, Fran. And I'm sure a few people will come in. So, yeah, a good performance. I'm not going to make it a long stream because I think we don't want to get overhyped, but we have to give credit where credit's due. But firstly, let's just start with a bit of gossip. As you know, a little bit of gossip flying around. We've got everyone laughing at Man United at the moment now. So a few things when it comes to a bit of gossip. As for Paul Pogba's now come out and said that there are false reports of how he's been towards Ole Gunnar. Apparently, he ignored him and he's a bad apple in the dressing room. And there are false reports that this is going on with Ole. Now, listen, it's bound to be a little bit of unrest, as we know. But you know what papers are like? They can really, really try and stir the pot. So they're looking for scapegoats. Pogba looks like he's a scapegoat. Shaw and Maguire, the coaching staff, and Ole. Everyone is throwing the blame left, right, and centre. So, yeah, so that's another one. It also says that Man United have obviously they've got their short list of Conte, Rodgers, Ten Hag, and Zinedine Zidane. Also, a little bit of gossip, and Pochettino is the highest on the list, number one choice at the moment. If anything happen there. Newcastle are willing to offer Ten Hag salary of $6 million. Another report coming from the Mail. Interesting. They're also interested, Newcastle, in Benitez. We then go on to Spurs. Dele Alli was left out of the squad completely, and his future looks like it's going to be elsewhere. Little bit of Arsenal gossip. We're struggling to convince William Saliba that his future is at Arsenal. I think the damage has already been done there. I think a lot's going to have to change. So I don't think we're going to probably get Saliba back. Interesting, but he's going to come. But reports, listen, you know what reports are like. It's just sometimes most of it is a load of trash, but sometimes there is a little bit of smoke. And like I say, we need fire for that. Arsenal are also preparing to compete with Barcelona for Sergi Roberto and obviously Sterling, but I believe Sterling will probably go to Barcelona, etc. Mino Raiola, our friend, has been rejected by Manchester United midfielder Donny van der Beek after he approached a 24-year-old Dutch player to represent him, and then not really much else going on, etc. Barcelona's French winger Dembele has 1 month to accept their latest offer, or he will be going when his contract expires. So that's a little bit of gossip for you people, what's going around, swings and roundabouts. A lot of news is going to be around Manchester United at the minute. I believe Ole's not got long at all. I think, like we said yesterday, the only reason he's still in this job is because they can't find anyone. So I think Ole will be gone probably. I think he'll definitely be gone before Christmas unless he wins every single game before that. So that's the gossip out of the way. See who else is in chat. Brett come in the chat. SK Musa has put, good thing we are scoring from corners. Curved Glass has put, all right, Fran, I'll be training and listening to the boss. Hey, listen, if you are training at the minute now, just remember targets and don't stop until you hit those targets, okay? Don't stop until you hit those targets. It's horrible when you're training. But if you need to do 20 reps, do 21, okay? Dylan's in. He said, I don't think Newcastle will get a big manager straight away. I think it will take maybe several smaller managers first before they can even attract Ten Hag. I agree. I also think it would be quite silly for them to go for the big one straight away, to be honest, Newcastle. I think they need to kind of get that. Remember, Man City did it with Mark Hughes and those kind of managers. I think Newcastle need to go down the same route. You bring a Ten Hag in or a Conte in straight away with this squad, they're going to lose their head and they're going to probably want to walk away or try and get paid up, you know. So we will see. And Tuchel has put, I can only hope Saliba carries on decent form and we can make our money back on him if he doesn't want to be here. And listen, if a player doesn't want to be there, he doesn't want to be there. It's as simple as that. We've all been places where we don't want to be at. Could be that relative's party and we don't want to be there. We don't want to be there. It's as simple as that. We don't want to be there. So we will see what happens with Saliba. Right then, people. Last night's performance. Now, most of us in the chat were a little bit concerned when we seen the starting 11. I've got to admit, I was one of them. I was not confident when I seen this starting 11. Even though Leeds only made the 4 changes and we made the 9, I thought, surely Leeds are going to give us a little bit of a game. But I've got to be honest, we didn't have to get out of first gear, and Leeds looked like they did not want to be there. I mean, they only made 4 changes. They only made 4 changes, and they looked like they'd never played football together at all. They were shocking. But I'm not going to sit here and say they were shocking and that's why we won. I'm not going to take it away from the lads. They did the job. They did the job. It wasn't pretty. Absolute snore fest, to be honest. We nearly fell asleep in the stream. Leeds were terrible. And we had a custard squad playing with a lot of enthusiasm and wanted to get the game done. So I've got to be honest, before the game, people, I was very, very concerned, and I thought this is going to be a tricky one. I can't see us winning this. This is a big risk for Arteta. That's what I said last night, because it could stop momentum. You don't want to lose this game, because all of a sudden you lose this game, you lose Leicester game. People are starting talking again. People are still going to start talking again. But old hands up again. You know me. I will always hold my hands up. When someone does a good job, they do a good job and they deserve the credit. And again, Arteta deserves credit. He believed in these players. He believed in what he wanted them to do. They believed in him. And they got the job done. Dylan is saying, I see Bielsa getting sacked, to be honest, if they keep going how they're going. They're not performing well at all. Well, Gabby, quite a bit on TalkSports, always says he's baffled why there's so much hype around Bielsa. And you know what it is? When we first started to see this Leeds team, when they came up, etc., and that, they were exciting. They were exciting. And I think we all, me as well, by the way, kind of got a little bit ahead of ourselves and fell into the fact that it was exciting, but is it sustainable? And is it the right way to play week in, week out when you don't have the Man City squad? And I think that's what Gabby was trying to say all the time. Like, they can't always play this way, this crazy energy. It's not always going to work out for them. What did they do then? And they stick to exactly the same play. So what's happened is now is the first season, they shocked everyone. The second season, everybody now knows how to play against Leeds. And because Bielsa doesn't change it tactically, it's very simple to play against Leeds now. And everyone's figured that out. So you could be right. He could be. I don't think they'll sack him straight away, to be honest. I think because of what he's done, the way that the club is, I think they'll be sustainable in the Premier League. But it could be a couple of seasons where they, when a club gets ahead of themselves and then the fans get ahead of themselves and they want more or they go on a bad run, he could be out of the window. Leeds were absolutely terrible. Not sure what's going on there. I mean, it was terrible. We were cohesive in the first half. Typically, we did well. And I don't want to, I'm one of those. It's like when people talk about Liverpool. So talk about Liverpool the last 5 games. No one's turned around and said how good Liverpool were. They said, well, they're expected to beat Watford or the games that they played. When really they've been absolutely excellent for the whole 5 games. So what I don't want to do is come on here and say we won because Leeds were that poor. Because I don't believe that. Some people will, but I don't believe that. Yes, it's a Mickey Mouse Cup. Yes, we played the custard squad. I get all that. But at the end of the day, we still had to do a job. And I thought that the lads that were playing did a professional job. Did I think anyone was spectacular? No. Did I think anyone's knocking on Arteta's door this morning saying I need to be playing in Saturday in the starting 11? No, I don't. I just thought it was an average performance against a shocking team. That was my opinion. But they did the job, which was more important. Leeds was so weak, and Pepe still didn't do nothing. Sell him season before he goes on a free. Martin's in the building. He said, "Big up, friend of community. If we perform against Leicester, I'll back Arteta. But for now, the jury is still out. Bielsa's style of play is actually laughable. I mean, it's great for entertainment, but it's crazy." Next 2 games against Foxes and Watford before we face Liverpool. So we should take minimum 4 points from the next 2 games. Listen, Watford, you would say that we're going to beat Watford. If we get anything against Leicester and Liverpool, I think people would be happy. I honestly do think I think that's not a bad return. Big up, Fran. Big up the chat from Brandon. As always, God bless you guys. Josh is just saying true and good point, Fran. So let's just touch on the game briefly. Like you say, it was quite boring. There wasn't a lot going on at all. The ruthlessness, the tempo wasn't there. Now, I thought Pepe started off okay. And people were like, I actually did think Pepe started off okay. I thought, I'm going to watch him even more tonight. This is his opportunity, because when you're in the custards, okay, the reserves, the second string, when you play a game, it's your audition every single time. Even when you're playing a first team game, but you're kind of slightly trusted. When you're trying to get in the first team and you're playing for the biscuits, right? You are always, it's an audition. It's an audition every single time. So you've got to do everything that you possibly can to impress. And it's hard. Circumstances are against you. Strongest team's not out. Don't really want to be playing reserves. You think you should be in the starting 11, etc. Mentally, it is a tough task. The young ones find it easy because they're excited. They're buzzing. They're trying to get that $1 million contract. So you're going to get difference from young players. The likes of your Pepes and your older players, they've already got that multi-million-dollar contract, So it sometimes can be hard for them to get motivated. And I thought last night was a perfect opportunity for a lot of these players, the Martinellis, the Nketiahs, the Pepes, El Neni will be in and out, the Holdings, to really, really, really put their foot down and say, right, tonight I am going to beast. And to be fair to them, they worked hard. They worked hard. They did work hard. And Leeds didn't work hard. It's as simple as that. But Pepe especially, I'm going to go on to him. People say, it's not slander, by the way. A lot of people after the game were saying he was terrible. If you look at him over the course of the game, he might as well have not been there. However, first off, in spells, he got the ball 3 or 4 times and he beat the fullback. And we've been asking for him to beat the fullback time and time again. He beat the fullback 3 or 4 times. And then he went back into Pepe mode. And I'm thinking, you started off well. This is an opportunity. We've got a full house at the Emirates, right? However many was there. Everyone's got a smile on the face. Arteta's now seems to getting around the end of that corner. The crowd's back. People are not moaning. The slander's gone. You started off well. Leeds are shocking. This is an opportunity for you to really, really turn it up. And he just took his foot off the gas. And I just don't think he's bothered. He's bothered as a human being. He's bothered to be a footballer, but just don't think he wants it enough. So I was buzzing for him. I was wanting for him to do really well, but he just didn't. But as a performance, as a team performance, I thought it was a very solid performance. We took risks. I wasn't confident at all, but I thought it was a good performance on the night to keep momentum. And it also allows the players who have not been getting a lot of football to get some confidence and get something under their belt. Let me have a look at the comments, people, before we go and mention some other players. Let's have a look. Here we go. Watford beat Everton. And by the way, ex-Gooner, Watford destroyed Everton. And I was very, very surprised. Josh King didn't get a chance at Everton, comes and bags an hat-trick. Just ripped them apart. He ripped them apart. So I think we'll have enough. But You never know. You never know. I bet Pepe quite a bit, but I got to be honest, he was poor last night. I don't know if it's his style of play or he just doesn't want to play for Arteta. Seems like he's chilling all the time on the pitch. He just wants to do something when he feels like it. You know? It's just a nightmare. It really is. It's a nightmare move for him. I don't see Saliba giving Arsenal a look in now. To me, that's understandable. Surely, if Arteta and you don't rate him, you'd come out and explain why you don't. Surely the lad deserves that. 100%. I think Saliba it was treated terribly. Terribly. We don't know what's going off behind the scenes, but I think he was treated terribly. And I think we've dropped a bomb on him and Guendouzi, but it happens. Like Kevin De Bruyne and Salah at Chelsea, I know the circumstances are different, but sometimes someone don't rate you and someone else does. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. He makes himself... He makes it hard for himself. He needs to keep simple at times. He doesn't make it hard for himself. Pepe must be playing Carabao only. Lord El Neni. Pepe beat the player, then lost the ball. El Neni's dreadful. El Neni, just don't get what he does. Pepe seriously vexes me because I know there's a good player in there. And that's why I think everyone's frustrated. Curb Glass has put, hope you don't mind me saying, but that was your best analysis. No, hey, listen, cool. Why would I mind that? Hey, why would I mind that, Curb Glass? You know me. 90% of last night's squad needs selling, in my honest opinion. Siander's put, I'm giving Arteta a free hit against Liverpool. If we lose that one, I won't lose my head, but we need to win against Leicester and Watford. A win against Leicester and Watford would be magnificent. Sell him while we have some value. Thoughts on Balogun, Kingston? I'm not sure why he was not loaned out in the summer. He is clearly behind Eddie Martinelli already. He's still young. I think he's probably 19. So he's not ready yet. You've seen in that Brentford game, even though we were poor, which was a bit harsh from him, he was thrown in at the deep end. He's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. And sometimes people are not ready. Sometimes people are just not good enough and they need a lot more time. And that leads me on to, by the way, people, Eddie Nketiah. This leads me on to Eddie Nketiah, who 45 in the chat, absolutely unbelievable, people. 42 now, someone's just popped out. Make sure you hit the like. Eddie Nketiah is getting a lot of good reports this morning, and people have got to slow the hell down, right? People got to slow down when it comes to this reports, paper talk, blowing smoke up people's backside. Honestly, people, honestly. Eddie Nketiah last night was bang average. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that he was bang average last night, okay? I thought, yeah, let's get to 100 likes, people. Smash the like button, get to 100 likes. For whatever reason, people always want to get to 100 likes, so make sure we get to 100 likes. Eddie Nketiah, I'm not going to come on here and hammer him. He ran around. He did okay. His link-up play was not bad at times, and he got a goal, which he tried to miss. But reports this morning, I'm seeing some, he's in our future. He's part of the club. I'm not sure whether Arteta and these people are just saying that. People are saying we should give him his new contract. He wants probably more money than what we've offered him. I mean, King said he reminds me of Dwight Gale. Listen, if he gets anywhere near as good as Dwight Gale, I'll be surprised. I'll be very, very surprised. And I've just seen some things. He got man of the match. All these things. And I don't know whether I was watching a different game. I really, really don't. We spent half our time having banter in the chat. So I'm not sure whether I was watching the same game. But people are talking like this morning like we've found a new player. I mean, are they blind? Are they trying to wind us up? Or are they trying to get clicks? I mean, come on, people. Let's be real. And people say, Fran, yeah, but he scored a goal. He scored a goal. He worked hard, and he did okay, which is average. That's what it means. He did okay. He was average, which he tried to miss. He ran around, and he did with it, and he's on the phone again. I mean, if he missed it, I would have phoned him. I can tell you that for sure. But unbelievable the reports I'm seeing this morning. I mean, there's something here. Yeah, I mean, let me just see if I can find this here. Arteta, he has a future at the club. He scored 7 goals in 8 Carabao Cup games. He had some nice little touches. Like you say, he looked to get him behind. But by the way, he's 22. So he's not a child. He's 22, which I thought he was 19 the way everyone was talking about him. And just said he had a situation in the summer that we tried to resolve and we couldn't either way, said Arteta. That contract situation is more and more common in football, where we are coming from with the COVID and a lot of other issues that we have to resolve. I have no doubts what we can offer. Whatever we throw at him, he wants more and he demands himself more. I don't know whether that's wrong in translation. So every time they offer him a contract, he asks for more money, apparently. So I don't know what's going on with this kid. I'm delighted to see his performances. He totally deserves it. He has other players who play in that position, and he has a personal situation, but I tried to leave that aside. So there's a problem why he's not signing this contract. There's a problem, etc., etc. And I think he's trying to get on that free, weigh his pockets up. Arsenal hoping to win the competition for the first time since 1993. Bloody, bloody, blah, bloody, bloody, blah. So, yeah, Brentford and Villa are interested in him. Listen, I think he's going to get a move, okay? He's going to be on a free. Someone's going to take the risk. It comes from Arsenal, so you're going to be able to go down. Brentford are probably going to be able to sell Ivan Toney, so then they're going to need a different type of player. He's bang average footballer. He's a bang average footballer, and the reason he's done so well to stay at Arsenal is because he does well in the England squad. And he seems like a nice boy. I've told you in sports and in most places in this world, if you're a nice person, people give you a lot more than probably someone who's just as talented, if not more talented, but has a little bit more of a rebel side of him. So listen, he's just a bang average player, I think. I think he's a championship centre forward at best. Can he improve? Of course he can improve. He clearly knows how to find the net. It's just the other part of his game where he needs to get to. But we will see where he ends up with Eddie Nketiah. So Pepe, Eddie Nketiah, etc. I mean, Eddie would suit a Brighton, somewhere like that. Listen, I want him to go on and I want him to do well. I want him to do well at Arsenal, but I just don't think he's good enough. Just do not think that he is good enough. One devotion is saying Arteta is waffling. He can't even get Abba and Laka up to speed. So how does he think Eddie is the future of our club? He's Norwich worthy. Greetings from Philippines fan. Arsenal was flying yesterday. Could it be that Arteta has finally implemented a style of play? Because I'm starting to see one. And Tubbs, you know what? Let's get a good point. I would argue that they were flying. They won the game and Leeds were poor and they did win the game and it keeps momentum, definitely. And I don't think no one can argue that we're seeing something from this team and Arteta is leading this team. I think it would be wrong. I think it would be biased and ignorant, and it would be plain to see that we just don't like Arteta if we would say that it's not a turning. We're starting to turn the corner. I mean, I don't think we're around the corner yet, I've got to be honest, but we are definitely 100% moving in the right direction. And like you say about the style of play implemented, you've seen last night Ben White running out the ball, even Holding running out with the ball. Now, against better opposition, that's not going to happen. And I think that's where we've become a little bit unstuck. We may have found a formation to put Aubameyang and Laka together, which clearly we missed because there was a no threat going forward. So it's then interesting to see how we're going to play against Leicester, etc. I hope, and I'm probably throwing a bit of hopium out there that Arteta don't start tinkering again because he loves to move things around. He keeps talking about he wants to find his strongest 11 or his best 11. That was against Aston Villa. That's his best 11 to date at the moment, and the way that they played and the formation-wise. So I think that the players are now smiling, okay? There's a feel-good feeling in the camp. If you put it completely to the way that Man United is, there's no good feelings in the Man United camp. And it's showing with performances. People arguing, disagreeing, trying to throw each other under the bus. We've now got through that with Arsenal. And you have to put it down to Arteta has managed to do that. Whether you like him as a manager, whether you like him as a person, etc., is he the manager that's going to take us where we believe we should be? Jury's still out. I'm not sure. We're not going to get excited over a small amount of games. However, there is evidence that these players are moving with this manager in the right direction, because it's just about results. What we were seeing before was we were saying all these other stuff was going well, yet the results were not going well. At the end of the day, you get judged by your results on a football pitch, nothing else, as a manager. Doesn't matter if the youth system's good or this is good or the set-piece coach is really working hard and this is all progress. Doesn't matter unless it's on the pitch, okay? Doesn't matter. Now, we've seen something from a corner. The set-piece coach apparently said to Chambers, you're going to score on your first touch. He did. That's pure luck. But trust me, that's pure luck that he said that. But you know, it's good for team morale, etc. Now, to score from a set piece is good. Vital in any league to score from set pieces. Vital. So I'm delighted that we scored from a set piece. Moose has put, there were many moments where we could have scored goals, only if our players looked for better options rather than going for glory. That's just a waste of opportunity. I'd love to see him being less selfish. That's also down to the quality of the player as well. You know, for example, ESR's vision or creativity is not great. He's not great, but that should get better as he gets older. However, it's not necessarily going to be the case. If you look at Adama Traore, by the way, who would probably be one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, if he had a brain or was creative at the end of, had the final pass, the final shot, and was creative, because the guy is ridiculous. He's never improved. I think he's maybe 26, 27. If you don't know how to play the game on the cognitive side, the intelligence side of it, by 27, you're never going to know. If it's like, you know, these self-development books. If you don't figure out how to use your brain and live life by the time you're 40, then you're never going to figure it out. You know, so I just hope ESR keeps improving and his vision gets better and things like that. Yanni said, I saw that I'm trying to move the ball much faster. The progress is better. Agreed. We will definitely by far the better team. Frank, West Ham v City tonight. Give us your thoughts on the game. It's going to be a tough game. I think West Ham are going on the right track. David Moyes has got these. He'll probably only make a couple of changes, whereas City, they probably will make 9 changes. It's called the City Cup, innit, basically. They may make 9 changes, but still could be very dangerous. But they'll find it hard to break down. Maybe West Ham at the back. They've got big height, Zuma and Agbona, etc. So they may struggle tonight, City or West Ham. I think that'll be a very, very good game. No watch along tonight off. I see a manager emerging from Arteta, but is it the Arsenal one? Listen, I've always said curved glass, as you know. I think Arteta may go on and do really well in the future. Is it with Arsenal? Will it be with Arsenal? Is this just a spell? And it's working out. It's going nice. We're in the flow. We're having a good run of games. And then does it hit the fan again? Or are we becoming a team that will be able to grind out results, etc., etc.? That's still, for me, the jury's out, and the jury will be out for a while, because I'm not judging a manager over 5 games, 10 games. I've judged Arteta from the minute he came in to the minute now. All right? And it's only now that we've started to see something. We had a good spell last year. We've seen signs. Consistency, etc., has always been a problem. So I'll judge him at the end of this season. And I think that's then long enough for us to obviously see where this club is going forward with this manager. Where I just put Fran, Guna from the Maldives, beautiful part of the planet. Enjoy your content very much. Big up, man. Do you think there's a very good camaraderie in our camp? Well, firstly, great part of the world. Hope the weather is well over there. Not sure what it's like this time of the year. And really do appreciate, obviously, the kind words in relation to the content. Now, do I think there's yeah, I do. I think there's a lot of togetherness. I think there's a lot of togetherness. Even yesterday when, you know, players didn't really play that well, towards the end of the game, they've still got a smile on their face. Aubameyang's got a smile on his face. Lacazette's not sulking when he comes off the bench. all these little things really, really help. And I'm going to always use Man United against that because at the moment, they're the ones going through the opposite. No togetherness, no camaraderie, players blaming each other, not liking what the manager's asking them to do, falling out. Apparently, Greenwood's not passing to Ronaldo, and Ronaldo's getting all these little things that come out causes problems in the dressing room. So I think at the minute, the Arsenal team and the camp are in a very, very good place. I really, really do. Brandon's put, but Fran, I have to say these team, like they have some togetherness now, 100%. The City bench, Sterling, Mahrez, KDB, Stones, Fernandes, etc. Squad is ridiculous, and I can see a 3-1 win. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. We should start to take Carabao Cup seriously because we're in now a strong position to possibly win it. And I think we should. Ramsdale has really helped the dressing room gel together. Even when he wasn't playing yesterday, he was celebrating with a win. What it is with Ramsdale, and a lot of people were and understandably, if you don't watch the Championship or you don't watch Ramsdale, which most people who watch the Premier League don't watch the Championship, okay? You would say, why would we take this goalkeeper who's been relegated twice? And it's early doors. He's come in and he's done well. I'll judge him at the end of the season. I won't judge him yet, but so far, he has done very well. What I like about him is his enthusiasm, his passion. But he sees this as a dream to be at Arsenal. That's the type of player that you need. He's got relegated with Bournemouth. He got relegated with Sheffield United. Who would have thought that he would have been Arsenal's number one goalkeeper 6-7 months after that? Nobody. Even if you know everything about football, nobody. I've seen Sheffield United and I've seen him play many, many times. Not once have I thought Arsenal should go for him. And I've seen him live not once. So, but he's buzzing to be an Arsenal player. And that will give you an extra 10, 15, 20%. And when other players around that, just as much as when someone's not happy, it can be infectious. When someone is living their dream and they're well happy, that can also be very infectious. And I think that's what you're going to see with Ramsdale. Will he make mistakes? 100%. 100%. Every player in the world makes mistakes. Every player in the world makes mistakes. But, that's part of taking risk. Fran, would you prefer KDB or Pirlo? KDB for me. He's not fit at the minute, but he's unreal. He's unreal. But they're different positions. That's the only thing for me, Brandon. I'd like them both, and they'd be classed both together. I have to be honest, I didn't want him, but he's proven me wrong. And it's good to admit that sometimes people are proving you wrong. Call Ramsdale passion merchant, but he delivers the goods. There you go. He's doing well. Ramsdale is excellent, but props to Leno. Played well and has been professional since being relegated. And it very, very true. Very, very true. Right, people, what we're on 33 minutes. Right then, let me go through what do you think that the players deserve quick player ratings. What do you think they deserved last night? We'll start off with Leno. What do you think about Leno last night, people? I always like to let you go first. Leno last night. What do you think? Oh, I ran out of coffee. Leno last night. We're going for a 7, an 8, 7, 7. 7. I think 7. I've got to agree with most of you. Most of you have said 7. I also think 7. I thought he made a couple of decent saves. His attitude, which was very impressive, was good. Craig's gave him a 6. SK's gave him an 8. So we're in around the 6, 7, 8. Sianders gave him an 8. I think 6 was maybe a little bit low. Bex has given him a 7. Chris has given a 7 as well. So I think most of us are in agreement, like around the 7. Tubbs is saying he can't believe he's giving Holding an 8. But I thought it was good. I thought he was very professional. I thought he made up a couple of good saves. He wasn't sulking. And listen, it's quite easy for him to sulk. Arsenal was superior yesterday compared to Leeds, so he didn't have much to do. But when he was called upon, I thought he did quite well. So professional performance, to be honest. We'll then go on to Cedric Suarez. What do you think about Cedric Suarez? Like you say, Cedric Suarez. By the way, I think the team performance was average or a little bit above average, to be honest. I think the team performance was a little bit above average. So, yeah, ain't no one getting no spectacular score from me. But like you say, I think in and around that. So, SK said a 6 for Cedric. 6. Cedric was also a 7. Tubbs is saying a few more. Cedric 6 from Denzel. Chris is saying a 6. Ex-Goon is saying 7 across the board. You're not far off, to be honest. Cedric, 7 from Josh. 6 from Tone. 6 from Sianda. Brandon's a 6. Was he in the game? Don't remember his name much. Dan the man's saying 4. Chris makes a good point because I can't, because the game was that average and boring. It was quite hard to kind of give people ratings, to be honest. I wasn't going to do the ratings, but it was quite hard to give people ratings. Bex has gave him a 5. Daz has gave him a 5. I'm going to give him a 5. He wasn't bad. He didn't really make a lot of mistakes. He put a couple of decent passes in. As Real was saying, he put so much bad balls in. I wouldn't say he gave the ball away a lot. His quality wasn't the best at times. But actual passing, I thought he was okay. But maybe, like you say, the final third, the final delivery was not the best. 56 in the chat. Absolutely unbelievable support, people. Hope each and every one are you well. I know Curtis is on a little bit later. So make sure you go and catch my boy Curtis out, as I'm sure most of you will. So we're going for a 6. I'm going to go for a 5. Cedric. Ben White. I thought Ben White was one of the better players. I thought Leeds made it a little bit easy for him, but I thought he was one of the better players. Ben White, people. Ben White. See what he's saying about a Ben White, people. So if Leno's a 7 and we think Leno was one of the better players, Ben White did go off, didn't he? Benjamin, as he wants to be called. I've never called a Benjamin a Benjamin. So his name's Ben over here. 7, 7, 8, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Alassane 6. Josh has gave him an 8. Sianders gave him a 7. I think Levan's coming. He says, well, go on, Fran. Just tuning in, brother. I hope you are well. Good win yesterday. Hopefully we can try and win a trophy this season, plus at least top finish. Listen, there's an opportunity at the moment for us to keep momentum and sneak a trophy and finish top 6. There's a big, big opportunity. Will that happen at the beginning of the season? I was not confident. Am I getting more confident as we're going along? Of course I am. That's how confidence is built. I'm giving Ben White I'm giving him a 6. Now, a few have gave you 6, but a lot gave him a 7. I thought Leno was good. I thought Ben White was good, but he wasn't tested. They only had one up top, so it's quite a breeze for him as a game. I think he's very good on the ball. That's why we brought him. It's no coincidence. I mean, it's no surprise to see him very good on the ball, and I think he will only get better. My only concern is his defending is not great. That's my only concern with him. However, he can learn and get better. He's still at an age where he can get better. So I'm going to give him a 6. I actually thought Holding was better than White yesterday. Hair transplants built his confidence up through the roof, Ben White. So I'm going to give White a 6. I then go on to Holding. I'm going to give Holding because I thought he had to do a little bit more. But again, it didn't actually have much of a threat. So I'm going to give White a 6. I'm going to give Holding a 7 for last night. Chris has given him a 6 against some White. Dr. Illis, what do you think about... Here we go. Let's have a look now. Just get this one on the screen. What do you think about moving Benjamin to midfield next to Partey when Saliba returns? Personally, feel he has all the qualities to be a perfect partner for him, allowing him to go forward. Listen, he can play in that position. He's played in that position many, many times. When he went on loan as well, he's played in that position. I'm just not sure that they see him as that because they want to transition from front to back, and they see that he's a pivotal part from starting a lot of moves. So that's why I don't think that would happen. Weedy Marley's put, I fell asleep after 15 minutes. I think it was one of those games. Biggest positive result, our rejects price may go up. For me, if a keeper gets a clean sheet, you've got to give him a 10. That's the main thing for them. No, you got 10s. Listen, I ain't seen many people get 10s. 10s are, you've got to, a 10. Now, I'm quite harsh. For me, 5 is average. So that's how I do my scales. A 5 is an average, bang in the middle. So I can't give... Listen, I tell you, I gave a 10. I would give a 10. Mendy against Brentford was a 10. That goalkeeper performance, that was absolutely insane. Goalkeeping. So Holding 7. I'm giving Holding an 8 for the first time. I think he was a 7. I've got to give him a 7. I thought it was all right. Didn't have a lot to do. Rodrigo was anonymous most of the time. Didn't hold it up. Didn't cause no problems. Didn't run him behind. So it was an easy game for them. But at the end of the day, you've still got to give them. You can't judge on who they're playing against. I'm just going to give them scores of how they did on the night. Kolasinac. Now, I thought Kolasinac did okay last night. I've got to be honest. Again, don't think he was as good as White as Holding. So I'm going to give Kolasinac a 6. What do you think about that, people? I'm going to give him a 6. I thought first half, he was better first half than he was second half, in my opinion. Got forward a little bit, tried some little triangles, etc. Nearly sneaked a goal as well. But I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. Standard 5, SKs gave him. Kola was actually okay. 6. Yeah, I've gave him a 6. I thought he was okay. He was horrific against West Brom when we destroyed him. Can you remember that game? When we ended up battered, it was a crazy game. But he was horrific in that game for a short period of time, and we ended up battering them. But I thought it was a 6, so fair play to him. We then go on to El Neni, people. El Neni. What can I say? Didn't really do much at all. Didn't really realize that he was on the pitch. I thought El Neni, again, they've won. They beat the opposition. As much as you like him, Craig's gave him a 1. El Messi 3. I've got to give him a 5. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he was great, which means he's bang in the middle for me. I'm going to give him a 5. El Neni a 4, 3, 6, 1. Oh, yeah, El Messi 4 wasn't good. I'm going to give him a 5. I just thought it was bang average. I'm going to give him a 5 for turning up and for winning, running around, etc. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 5. Bex is saying 5 is decent. See, I think 5 for me is bang average in the middle. So that's how I do mine. I think 1 is, you should just get 1 for walking on the pitch. The midfield wasn't tested, to be honest. And listen, this is not a true reflection of, I think, the level of these players, because I think Leeds were absolutely horrific. I've got to be honest. But some people are saying 4.9. Brandon's being cruel. They just don't want to give him that 5. He just can't bring himself to give him that 5. So he's given him a 4.9. Tone's been generous. He's given him a 6. Levan's given him a 5. Josh 5. Dan the Man 5. So I think we're in and around the mix. I'm going to give him a 5. Now, Maitland-Niles. Probably one of the better games that I've seen him play for Arsenal, because I don't rate him as a player. Not as an Arsenal player. I think he'll do a job at Brentford, but they're not bad in the midfield. I think he would do a job at a West Brom. He'd maybe get a shift in at a Burnley, a Sheffield United, maybe in the Championship, etc. Play those kinds of levels of teams. But I thought he did do well last night. I've got to be honest. He was energy. He was reading the game quite well, which he was picking up seconds. Yes, I know people are going to try to say, but Fran, the midfield was poor. I get that. But it's like the Spurs game. They had no midfielders, and we were raving about that result. So let's be consistent. We're going for a 7, a 7, a 7, a 5, Daz is saying, a 6 from Josh. Maitland-Niles is good for a mid-table team, to be honest. Well, we're kind of mid-table. We're not now, but, Tony's giving him a 7. He actually bossed the midfield. El Neni 10 for the dirty look he gave the ref. Yeah. I'm going to give El Neni a 7. I thought he was quite good last night. I know again, opposition was non-existent at times, but he still did enough for me to give him a 7. So we're in and around the 7 and the 6 mark. Daz is the only one that's gave him a 5, really, for Maitland-Niles. We then go, you know what? Now it starts to get interesting. Leeds with rubbish. How do we rate ourselves against rubbish sides? And that's the hard thing, Chris. That's the hard thing, because people will say, Maitland-Niles did really well last night. It was great in midfield. And I'm like, I could have still ran that midfield because no one was even in the midfield. But we have to give them a mark. And I think because they won the game, then I think maybe we can give them, 6s and 7s. That's why for me, no one gets a 9 and a 10 and that, because that would, that's not how you can judge them, So we will see. This is going to be tough, by the way. So now we go to the front 4 in a way. We'll start with Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe. I want to know what you think about Smith Rowe last night. What do you think? He played in the 10. Smith Rowe. Charles, but I think we don't judge a player based on how good the opposition is. In my opinion, it should be on how good he got the job done in that particular game. And I think that's the only way we can judge players, really. Yes, the opposition at times. That's why the marks can't be the marks can't be ridiculously high, because you're not getting tested. But you can only see what they do with the ball, their work rate, etc., things like that. Smith Rowe 7, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 6. Yeah, I didn't really do much to rave about. I'm going to give him a... Was he better than Cedric? Probably. I'm going to give him a 6. 10's not his position. I don't know. It was part of his contract. Aston Villa settings did him a world of good there. His agent in Aston Villa really got him that number 10 shirt. I can tell you that. He's not a 10. He's not a 10. And maybe he believes he's a 10. He wants to be central. He wants to get more involved, but he doesn't have the vision. He doesn't have the intelligence. He doesn't have the know-how to be a 10. He needs to be out wide at times, drifting in, or a bit of a free role, which you're not really going to get under Arteta. So I'm going to give him 6. I'm going to give him a 6. Most of you have gone 5s and 6. Smith Rowe is average, young talent, but he has potential. 100%. I'm a huge fan of ESR fan. I don't like marking players, to be honest. There's no science behind it. Listen, I get where you're coming from. ESR needs to learn to look up. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 6. I'm gonna give him a 6. I think he's got potential to be a very, very good player. He isn't no Kevin De Bruyne. He isn't no Perez. And if he gets anywhere near them, then he's going to be one hell of a player. So people need to stop throwing these comparisons out, that's for sure. He ain't no Jack Grealish or anything like that at the moment. But he's got potential to be a very, very good player. And I think at the moment he's in a good place. He's in a good team. And he's got a good people who believe in him. That's the main thing. Martinelli, people. What do we do with this player? What do we do with Martinelli? He's still young to a degree in football terms. We've seen in spells he could be very, very good. Sports Genius report, is he better than Grealish at his age? Probably not. I think it's just Grealish wasn't really in the Prem. Was he? 4 years ago? Was Grealish in the Prem? Can't remember. And Grealish has been outstanding since about 15, 16, but is he better than Grealish? You could say he's doing more. So you've got an argument. He's doing more. I mean, I don't think he's going to be off. I don't think he's going to be as good as Grealish, but he's got potential to be very good. There's a good argument there, to be honest, Sports Genius, that, is he ahead of him at the age that they were? There's a good argument. I've got to be honest. There's a good argument. There's a debate to be had. That's for sure. We should let him go out on loan, Martinelli. Martinelli wasn't good. He needs to play regular. regularly. If he can't do that at Arsenal, he needs to go on loan. Martinelli 6. He was running a lot. Forest Martinelli. Martinelli has not been the same since he got injured. And it's a good point. I think this injury that he's had has really, really put him off. He's not been able to get back in the groove. He's not had enough games. You think you had that injury and then you've got to have a lot of games. If you're not playing regular, you can't get better. You know, whatever you're doing at your job, if you don't do it, enough every day, you're never going to get to the level that you need to get to, or the gym, or reading, or meditating, or whatever it may be. Finding a partner, if you don't go out enough, you're not going to find one. So, or you don't socialize enough, you're not going to find one. So, that I think Martinelli's got a lot of ability, but the injury has put him back a lot. And I don't think Arteta trusts him. I don't think he's found his way. So I think he needs to go out on loan. I think yesterday, I've got to be honest, people, it's harsh for me to say, he ran around a lot. But considering we had nearly all the ball, didn't do anything. I'm going to give him a 4. I am. Sorry, peeps, if you don't agree. 6, 5. Martinelli being wasted at the moment at Arsenal. Martinelli and Greenwood, they start first team together. Injury and Arteta holding back. The injury is a good point. He's never been the same. I think Reiss Nelson has more potential than Martinelli. Reiss Nelson's not built. Mentally, he's not built yet. I've seen him since the under 15s at England. He's mentally not strong enough. And maybe that's the problem with Martinelli. Gabby played against a young right back that made his debut and needs to do better. Very much so. A loan to Spain might be good for Martinelli to improve technically, Fran. I think he just needs to understand the game a little bit more. He's got a lot of talent. He's always buzzing. He's always wants to do something. He'll try and take someone on. But I just think his intelligence of the game maybe is a problem. I think his intelligence of the game could be a problem. And you're not going to get that the more you play. That's why it's easy for a 35-year-old to play in midfield or a centre-back than it is when he's 21. Because he understands the game. He anticipates the game. He knows what players are going to do. He knows where the chances are that a ball is going to drop. Because, you've seen it so many times in your head. I think Martinelli needs to start studying the game a little bit more. Maybe start watching some streams of players in similar positions to him and start to try and understand the game. Whether these players do that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether they take their time out to have a look at the players of how to play the game, where to go. For example, if I'm a winger or stroke free up top, I'll watch Salah. I'd watch a Mane. I'd watch a KDB when he goes out wide. I'd watch a Sterling. If I was a 10, I'd look at a Foden. I'd look at where Messi drops in. If I was a 9, a big 9, I'd look at Kane, Benzema, Cavani. These are the things that I think players they may be doing it, they may be not. I'm not too sure. We used to do it quite a lot in our day. Sometimes it'd be boring, you didn't want to do it, but you would try things in training. I used to try what Henry would try. I would try what R9 would try. And if I had the confidence, I would try it in a game. It didn't work that often, but at least you knew it was in your your locker. So I feel for him at the minute. I really do feel for him at the minute. I think he really, really needs to get away from speedboat, no driver settings and start looking at how he's going to impact the game. Pepe, people. I feel like I'm bullying Pepe at times. I honestly do feel like I'm bullying him at times on the streams. And I don't want to come across that way. But it's very hard to know. In life, in everyday life, then you're not going to be like that towards people. But I feel sometimes I'm on him too much. And I think I remember one coach said to me, Fran, the reason that I'm constantly on you is because you're one of the most talented kids I've seen. You're one of the most talented players in this league. But I need you to do it more. And he used to consistently keep me behind, consistently pull me. And it got to the point where I just felt overwhelmed, like he was bullying me. But he was only trying to improve me. But I don't know what to do with this kid. He must frustrate Arteta like absolute crazy. Big up, Fran. I've learned a lot from you. I'm putting it towards my gameplay. And listen, that comment there gives me a lot of joy, because I've always said to you, my channel, I want to give you a channel where it's a more informative than I'm going to sit here and hammer people and hammer the club and hammer this player and not give any balanced argument or any information. And that comment there, you know, really puts a smile on my face. That you've said that. It really does, because I want this channel to be informative. And if people don't want to watch a channel that's informative, then they won't be here. If people do, then it helps them. And that's what I want. So appreciate that. But big up, Marshall. Hope you well. Thanks for the Joe Budden. Pepe 4. He's a 3. 4. Sell him and get Dembele. Dembele would do a lot better. Pepe, Father Christmas, but no presents in his sack. I like that one. I like that one. Pepe missed a chance to show that he should be in the first team. Pepe had one good season in France and Arsenal paid 72 million. I mean, the price tag does not help him, people. The price tag does not help him. I mean, I've got to give him a free. I really have. He's not a kid. He had a massive opportunity last night, like I said at the beginning of the stream, to really show Arteta that he wants to be at this football club, that he wants to do well. And I just don't think he's got it in him. You know, Steve's 2.5, Levan's 2.5. I was going to say 2, but I thought that was very, very harsh because he started quite bright. Again, he got an assist like Hendon Guna. See, the thing is, he gets assists and he does get goals. And it's quite strange because you say, well, he doesn't offer anything else. And you think, well, surely that's all you need. But you need so much more to be a team player. You need so much more. And he just doesn't have it. He's not a leader. He's not one you would follow. He doesn't show enthusiasm. It's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare with him because he's getting assists. He's scoring goals when he plays. Like you say, even the people, you know, like Josh is saying here, there's a lot of people that have been backing him. I mean, Curtis is one of Pepe's biggest fans. And it's got to the point where if Curtis is saying, I don't know what we do with him. Josh has put, hello, friend, I've really tried to back Pepe, but his IQ and decision-making is his brain, his football intelligence is just terrible. But he's got so much talent. It's just annoying. It really is. But yeah, for that. And then we get on to Nketiah. You know what? I'm going to give Nketiah. A 7. I'm going to give Nketiah a 7. I thought he linked quite well. I think he worked hard. I mean, how he nearly missed that, I do not know. If his shin pad was in any other position, he misses that. I could not believe what I saw, but it went in the end. And at the end of the day, when you pick up the newspaper, if you read newspapers or you check it says Eddie Nketiah. You know, it's another goal to his tally. So I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he worked hard. He didn't sulk. He's had hardly any football this year, and he got his just rewards by, you know, a mistake by them. And he managed to anticipate it, get on the end of it, and managed to put the ball in the back of the net. So, listen, I'm going to give him a 7. But again, I think it was an okay performance. Nothing spectacular. Really, really wasn't. And we move on. 63 in the chat, people. Great numbers today for our channel. Very, very well done to each and every one of you. So that's me for the ratings. We'll have a look because we're bang on an hour. What about that for timing? Pepe is judged more harshly than compared to Saka. Yeah, he's going to be a lot more. Pepe needs to play more regular to get fully up to speed. You see, the thing is, you only play when you force yourself into the team and then you work hard enough or do enough to stay in the team. With Arteta and Pepe can get an assist and not play the next game because he doesn't trust him. So Pepe needs to just say, you know what I need to do? I need to show this manager that I am willing to put the shift in. He plays if he puts the shift in because he's got everything else. But the shift has to come first. Then the trimmings. The trimming can't come first. And that's the problem that we've got with Pepe. And obviously Chambers, you want to do Chambers. Chambers came on and got a goal. So, you know, for the injury, I thought he did well when he came on, not tested. So I'm going to give him a Thrown him in the mix, did all right. I'm going to give him a 6.5. 6.5 with Chambers. So I'm going to give him. Yeah, it's a catch-22 with him. It really, really is. If you're a scout and you see Saka and Pepe play, which one are you going to say cost 72 million? You're going to say Saka. You're going to say Saka. You're going to say Saka, you know? You really, really are. You really, really are. Craig is saying that Pepe planned a bank robbery in car, would break down, just not happening for him. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. Fernando Torres, Chelsea, didn't happen. Shevchenko, didn't happen. You know, it just Franny Jeffers, when we signed him, Fox in the box, didn't happen. Just doesn't happen. Just because you move, doesn't happen. And finally, we'll give the crowd, I think the crowd deserve an 8. Maybe a 9. Let me give the crowd a 9. I'm going to give the crowd a 9, actually, through the fact that they made it very, very good environment. And also that 9 is for the effort from the previous games as well. That's what I'm going to go for. Craig, stealing from the stealing. Right now, Saka ain't looking like 72 million either. No, he's not. He has been poor. He has been very poor. Were they that good? Well, it sounded like it. Away fan. Hey, listen, away fan. The away fans, hey, listen, now we're going crazy now. Friend, you get a 10 from me for your watch along. There you go. We get a 10 people. Friends comment is 19. 9 home fans, 3 away fans. Crowd gets a 50. Here we go, people. Right, people, as always, thank you for contributing to this. Make sure you hit the like. If you have not already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Very, very highly appreciated from me. Tomorrow, so we'll see what's happening tomorrow. Son has got football training, and I might be in a charity game tomorrow as well. So I may not be around tomorrow, but you will definitely see me on a Friday. I will be in front of the computer for most of the day, so I may do one earlier. I'm not sure because I need to do a lot of work tomorrow in regards to the charts because I've been very, very slacking. Morris has put, yes, for a long time. Glad to see your channel growing nicely. Big up the listeners. Pepe, skillful, quite quick, decent left foot, but frail. Nowhere near aggressive enough, and that's probably bang on. So each and every one of you, enjoy the rest of the evening. As always, look after yourself and the loved ones. Stay blessed, and I will see you all tomorrow. Maybe, if not, definitely Friday. You take care.